First thing we're going to do is drop the deck, and in order to do that, there are some pins as well as the belt that need to be released. So I'm going to release the belt first. So I'm going to get a good pair of gloves, and I recommend you wear gloves if you do this. From the back of the mower, we're going to ease that belt off that large pulley in the back. So underneath the back of the mower, this is the belt I'm going to remove. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the belt on the back side of it and just slowly ease it over the edge of this pulley and then work it around and it'll get released. I'll see if I can film it. Okay, so with the deck belt released, now I'll go drop the pins in front. Now on each side of the mower, there's going to be a spring-loaded clip. And you're just going to pull this out and then twist it to get out of that hole back there. One on each side. All right, there's the other one. Next, underneath the front of the deck, there is a bar that holds onto a bracket on the deck. So we're just gonna slide the deck forward to release that. And now we can slide the deck out through the side of the mower. I should also mention, to make this easier to slide the deck out, move the cutting height to its highest setting. So this is what the deck looks like with the belt still in place. Note how it's fished around those pulleys. We are going to remove it. There is probably a diagram on your deck as well, but just in case yours is not there, here's a shot of how you're going to fish that back around. If you want to completely remove the belt, there is a metal tab that holds it in place, so you'll need to loosen this pulley. So that's a 14 millimeter. And there's a washer top and bottom. All right, now I'm going to very carefully turn the deck over onto something soft. I'm just going to use a piece of cardboard so I don't scratch everything up. Here's what it looks like underneath. A couple things jumping out at me. My blade, this side of the blade is certainly missing a piece, so this one's probably not even balanced correctly. Lots of rust. See, that one's missing a piece. That one's pretty rusted up and missing some metal here. This one looks like it's about to break off. So lots of rust. These blades definitely need to be replaced. The other thing jumping out at me is there's a ton of dry grass and dirt underneath this deck, which is also hurting its ability to cut the grass. So I am going to change the blades, but I'm also going to do some work on the bottom side of this deck and get it all cleaned up before I put it all back together. So first thing we'll do is take the blades off. So to remove the blade, I'm just going to put a piece of wood in here that just stops the blade from spinning, and I'm using a 15/16 socket. We'll is try and loosen that. That worked great. And just do the same thing and remove the other two. With the nuts removed, you can just pull all your blades off. All right, now I'm going to spend some time cleaning off all that grass and scraping the sides real well before we start putting the new blades on. Okay, it's starting to look a little better, but I'm not done yet. There's all the crap I removed from underneath this deck, but I'm afraid it is so pitted and so much paint has fallen off that it's just gonna come back unless I do something. So I'm gonna jump online and see if I can find some sort of tough, non-stick coating that I can put underneath this mower deck. Next, I'll be taking a wire brush and going over the whole surface. Again, the whole plan is to get the metal surface as clean as possible for the new coating. I've got the mower deck as cleaned up the best I can. We're now ready for some friction reducing paint. I didn't want to bore you with watching me scrape, but essentially I removed the big chunks with a paint scraper. Then I used a wire brush to kind of go all the way around this thing. And then finally, I did use a grinder to get as much of the surface rust off as I could. I washed it and then I sprayed everything with air and got it all cleaned up the best I could. I actually rubbed it with rubbing alcohol just to see if there was any grease or oil in there, and the alcohol came off pretty clean. So it looks like crap, but it's about as good as I can get it, so we'll put that paint on next. I picked up some paint at the local Tractor Supply, and this product is called EZ-SLIDE Graphite-Based Coating. I didn't do a ton of research, but essentially it's a dry film lubricant loaded into a paint. So it's actually for mower decks, agricultural, as well as industrial. I had it upside down overnight, so it should be a little easier to stir up. It is pretty, I can tell there's a big sludge at the bottom. That's probably the graphite. It was about $17, and I'm not gonna do this in the house. I'm gonna stir this up outside and then start painting the whole under deck of the mower. Okay, here we go. Pretty thin on top. It's real thick at the bottom. So this is going to take a while. It's got a strong solvent smell. It is a solvent-based paint. All right, I've got it pretty well stirred. Took me about 10 minutes. I'm actually going to leave this in there to stir it because it's very thin. And I want to make sure it doesn't settle. So here we go. All right, so the first coat is done. I'm gonna let that cure for about 60 minutes, and then I'm gonna apply a second coat. After getting the surface prepped, I applied one coat of the graphite coating, let it cure for about an hour, and then I put on a second coat and let it cure for another hour. So it is dry to the touch. It is an alkyd coating, so it's gonna slowly react with air and cure. It'll be probably fully cured tomorrow. But we're in a good position now to put the blades back on, or put the new blades on. I am just quickly lining up the new blades with the old ones. As you can see, the new ones are some mulching blades, so we're going to stick those on right now. So we'll use the 2x4 in order to keep the blades from rotating. Blades are done. Now we can just flip it over and get the belt back on. All right, I'm gonna fish the belt back around everything, and I'm just gonna follow the diagram right here. So this will go around this pulley, then it's gonna go around this one, then through here. Come around this one. Now the pulley that we removed, a couple of things I have to remember. There was a washer top and bottom. That's going to get set on here. But first, we'll have that guy on there. Let's get the belt in place. There we go. Just gonna check the belt diagram. Everything looks good, so we are now ready to slide it back into place and hook it back up to the mower. That's the first thing I want to do is hook up this bracket to the frame in front. Now I'm going to drop the deck into its lowest position. Lowering the lever for cutting height will put that bracket right where it needs to be. And now just put those pins in place. Same thing on the other side. Make sure your pins are in place solid. You might have to wiggle your deck a little bit to get those to go through. Now from the back of the mower, you want to find that belt, give it a nice tug. But before you put it back on your pulley, you want to make sure that it's still on all of the correct pulleys on the deck. All right, so I'm not as strong as I thought I was. I actually had to run a strap back to that tensioner pulley and give it a tug in order to loosen enough slack to get it around that pulley. So I already got it done, but you can kind of see where I've got the strap fished down towards that tensioner pulley. And I just gave it a tug with my right arm and then used my left to slip the belt back around the proper pulley. So we are all done. There's a shot of where I had a strap around that tensioner pulley right here, just to push it back so I get that belt on the pulley. All right, well, it turned out to be a little bit more than just a blade change, but I'm excited to see how this new graphite coating on the underside of the deck works out. I will check back in towards the end of summer when I take this thing apart, and we'll see how good that coating held up and if a lot of grass is sticking to it or not. Take care, everybody.